My name's Caitlin and I'm from New Zealand. I never studied art, but I actually studied a Bachelor of Science, majoring in biological sciences. And then I worked in aquaculture for about 3 years before moving to Spain and Europe about 7 years ago. And that's when I moved in with my partner, who's a professional cyclist, also from New Zealand, George Bennett. And 1 year for George's birthday, he asked if I could paint on some shoes for him. And he wore them in the Tour de France. And the rest was kind of history. I had a lot of people messaging me afterwards if they could send me some of their shoes and I could paint on them for them. And then it just slowly, organically grew into something that's really become my full-time job now. So I have I've known CHAPTER2 for a long time. And I initially first talked to Mike. It probably would have been 3 or 4 years ago when he asked me to do a custom pair of shoes for him. Initially, when Mike approached me to be able to design the frame for him, he did come along with some ideas in the sense, with a rough brief, wanting it to be along the lines of a New Zealand type theme, something that we could bring back to New Zealand. That's when I really just targeted the silver fern, which is a fern that's only found in New Zealand. It's called the ponga. And for me, when I think of running along the trails in New Zealand, I think of the silver fern really, which is it's a beautiful fern that you turn over and it's silver on the back. It's supposed to stand for strength, resistance and endurance. And I think all of the symbolism behind that and the meaning is just a beautiful way to show what New Zealand stands for and what we represent. All the ferns that I have drawn on the bike are all outlines of actual ferns. I really lean towards a lot more realistic type designs for ferns, and so I went out and found some ferns. Where we found the fern was just out of Nelson in a national park in New Zealand called the Abel Tasman National Park. And it's the most beautiful national park, and the ferns are just amazing everywhere. It's a beautiful walk, and I was running and my mum picked the fern, and so that was what created the idea behind the frame. But I think on the frame, by having them just outlined, it doesn't make it too busy. So you can also, it's something that you see from a distance, but as you get closer to it, there's a lot more details and a lot more to see. I think the use of gold in the frame for me really stood out a whole lot more as well on the white frame rather than silver. And also I feel like gold it's associated with so many things. For one, winning, and it just stands for a whole lot of strength and determination. I haven't ever done a design in which it's expanded to, producing 50 to 100 editions of this, but honestly it's something that I feel in a way honoured to be able to provide something that's so unique for them and so customised. And in the same sense, that's why I love the idea of doing a limited edition frame for CHAPTER2 alongside Mike and all of you, to create this for people that also felt the unique pull to something so authentically New Zealand, but also so something that they could ride on and be proud of, because in the end it makes such a huge difference to be able to ride something as simple as a bike frame or use custom shoes to change the whole experience of being outside. And I think to be able to do that I cherish it. I'm in a very lucky position to be able to do it.